Hello, I am Paula Bennett and welcome to my New Zealand Herald podcast, Ask Me Anything. Now, one thing I've learned in life is it's never too late to learn something new. So on this podcast, I talk to people from all walks of life to hear about how they got to where they are and get some advice and guidance on some of life's biggest questions. Today is the last episode for 2023, and we are ending with what I think is a very festive feel, a bit of fun to end the year. So I've got comedian, actor, writer, director Chris Parker in to join me.
I'm the last guest of the year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what an honour.
I know. And you've announced this tour for 2024. It's
Correct.
called Give Me One Good Reason Why I Shouldn't Throw My Phone Off This Bridge.
Gotta laugh. That's all I want.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yes. I just want to be able to go, and then buy a ticket.
Yeah,
Just,
okay.
and just enough, like a little, just a little laugh, and then they'll book.
How are you?
I'm so good.
Okay,
I'm happy to be here.
You got two rules for the show before we get
Yes.
going. One is my bit of housekeeping.
I love it.
I'm allowed to ask you anything.
Oh, great.
Right.
I'm honestly an open book.
Yeah. I didn't think. Are you quite into oversharing?
I am. I feel like we should just pitch it that we're on a road trip and we're about hour 4 in, you know, and we're just grasping at anything to get through the road trip.
Anything to get through it. Okay, and no judgy zone.
Yep, free.
Which you're into, eh? I was
Judging?
reading. No, not judging.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
No
like
way.
You are, I was reading someone you just going like, yeah, you are a no judgy, no.
Absolutely. All
Yeah.
strokes for all boats. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Exactly. I say some quick fire questions. Who would you invite to dinner?
Okay. Am I cooking? I guess so. In New Zealand or international?
Just
Anyone.
name it. You can name
Number
anyone.
one, Dolly Parton, always.
Oh, that is my one too.
Really? She's an amazing person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard this podcast about her, that she's like the most beloved star in America, but also the least divisive star in like
would
the US,
be.
because she appeals to the gays, women, working class,
Now,
country.
Sorry, I could talk Dolly for
Yeah.
hours, so we won't. But isn't she so incredible? Because she has got her religion and her God that she really believes in, yet she is so non-judgmental.
100%.
Right? Whereas, let's be fair, a lot are quite judgmental.
Yep.
That are so religious, and yet she has got all of that, and yet for her religion, her God means giving and having a big heart.
And she is always in on the joke on herself in a way. Like, she knows what she's playing, even. And then I find that she has her power in that. Like, her old interviews back in the day, it's like I always go back and watch them, and they'll make jokes about her appearance, and then they'll make the remark, and then she'll just swipe immediately, and she'll get them back. And I just think it's brilliant.
So my favourite Dolly quote on that, well, one of my favourites, because I do quote her quite often, but one of my favourites is, it costs me a fortune to look this cheap.
I know, it's so...
Such a great line, and it's
it.
exactly what you were saying.
Yeah, she knows.
So we could just sit at dinner. Can I come?
Yeah,
then?
you're invited.
Because
I've got Paula and Dolly coming over.
I'm just going to sit and
I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if the world's ready for that.
But I don't think we wouldn't have to get a word in though.
No,
we would
I
just
don't
sit
think.
there and listen to Dolly.
But I wonder when you meet someone like that, because she's done such a good job of concealing who she is in a way. Like, she gives us Dolly Parton, but she doesn't give us the real Dolly, maybe. I don't know who she really is. And there's rumours that she's just covered in tattoos. Have you not heard? Because you'll always see her with big long sleeves. Apparently,
Yes.
yeah, that's the rumour.
Wow. We'd have to ask that.
Yeah, I know, at dinner.
Okay, we're going to talk more about your career shortly, and what it takes to make it in a career in the arts, because it's hard. But let's get to know you a little bit. And I feel like I'm going to jump straight in, because we were just talking about dinner parties and Dolly. And I find Dolly fascinating as well, is that she's been married for decades, yet
Yes.
we never hear of,
I know.
or the husband. Now, you recently got married.
I know, just over a year ago now.
Wow.
I know.
And so to Michael.
Yeah, Michael and I have been together for, it would be like almost 9 years.
Yeah. And did
In
you...
February.
So you got married about a year ago, October last year, I
Yeah.
was reading. And then, so did you honeymoon this year?
Honeymoon this year. The wedding was, well, it's so weird, because it's like, what I found with this whole process of I loved the process of getting married. I loved being engaged, and I loved planning the wedding. And then we really thought about it. I guess maybe because of because the idea of the bride and the groom is not our picture, you have to start thinking about everything. And so we just started interrogating what the wedding was for us and why we wanted to do it. Because it's such an expensive thing to go ahead. It can be expensive. When it's two gay men, it is always so expensive because there's no one pulling you back. Like it's like, what about an ice sculpture? An ice sculpture of a peacock. I didn't know that. And it could light up and it could rotate. Like it just keeps building. Yeah. But we just, for us, it was about our families had not really met each other, and we wanted to find a process or a way of bringing everyone together and sort of forming our sort of two circles to create a circle, which is what I've always admired with my parents. Is like, their friends are each other's friends. It's not like, and I find with my generation, it's like, oh yeah, it's Tim's friends and Sarah's friends, and I wanted our world to feel more cohesive than that.
So the ceremony, if you like, and the after party, reception and everything, for you was part of that kind of really coming together. And so you guys really thought about all of that. Yeah,
so we had it at the Hollywood Avondale because, again, we were like, didn't necessarily want to do it in a church. And then, but so the Hollywood sort of felt right, and it's got this nice aesthetic, and it looked beautiful. And then we just did it over dinner. So people arrived, and they immediately had like booze and oysters in front of them, and then we did all our speeches first, and we sort of worked through this process of like getting to know each other and everyone sharing stories and how we met and telling our story and kind of getting that out there, and then we got married at the end of the night, and then we did our vows, and then like big party.
Wow!
Because I've emceed, I think, 7 weddings. Yeah. And I find the sort of dramaturgical structure of a wedding wrong because the vows are at the top of the night. Everyone's crying, and it's like 15 minutes, that little ceremony. And then you have this endless dinner over like a, stuffed chicken or whatever. And then you're sort of talking to horrible people that you don't really have any rapport with. And then you dance on a dance floor to like the Grease Mega Mix. And I just was like, we need to like the big moment of like the vows and the rings. That's the catharsis of the night. So that should be at the end of the night. Yeah. So then we sort of replotted it around, and I thought it worked fabulously.
And isn't it cool that you can do anything these days, right? Well, there are no rules, really.
It started with who walks down the aisle. Yeah. That's the initial question, because it's like, well, do we both walk? Do we even need an aisle? And then suddenly it all begins to fall out and
so did your honeymoon this year? Did you get to go away?
Yes, we went to, after like a busy chunk of work and touring, we went to Europe and did the old Europe Girl summer, and then Japan.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. And so are you the same at home as you are in your professional or your social media life? Because you're larger than life, right? You're
100%.
A wonderful extrovert, fun, well, it's part of who you are, right? And we love you for it. So are you like that at home? I was wondering, because you could be a lot.
Yes. No, I think we all have versions of ourselves that we plug into, right? So I have like, group, like when I'm with a large group of, say, 10, there's a version of me that I put out there. And then there's a version of me that is like in front of like 2,000 people. Yeah. And those just cannot be the same person who's at home and is tired and is on his phone. So absolutely not. Yeah. Like really tired and...
Yeah, I mean, I used to, and I still do occasionally, last night, I just get home and, and I just go, I need half an hour. I'm full. I call it I'm full. Yeah. Because, I've just talked enough. I've done enough. Yes. I've given out a lot of energy today.
Yes.
And I just need to actually breathe a bit.
How do you decompress?
And then I can, I'm much better now than I used to be. Much better. I used to, much to my... not my shame, but I did always feel slightly bad about it, was that I'd be working so hard. I'd be away like 5-6 nights a week. And then about every 6th week, I would go, I have to go away by myself for 2 days.
Yeah.
So my poor husband, all he'd really want to do is go away with me.
No,
and I would be like, I'm sorry, and I would just go and read trashy novels and sleep.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think that's the thing I'm learning or trying to navigate at the moment, is the balance between giving myself out to everyone and then also giving myself to my husband. Yeah. And then what's left, like where do I fill my own sort of stocks up and my own cup up to like recharge myself because you want to be there for everyone else. You always sort of put yourself last in that sense.
And your job's very much like that, right? Because you're giving out, you
Heaps.
get back from the audience saying no, and that is, as someone that also MCs and does all that, like the right crowd, you just come away feeling buzzy, like it's a buzz.
Yeah.
But you're also putting a lot of energy out.
It is a lot of adrenaline and it definitely charges you up. And then the crash is always quite big. I'm always such a monster when my parents come to town to watch like my shows and stuff, and I wish I wasn't. So I think I'm like really trying to work on because they're like wanting to like watch me do this thing that they've been on connected to the journey for so long, but I'm so tired by the end of a show. Like I'm such a jerk.
Yeah. And they're like, let's go for dinner or let's go.
And you're like, where should we go? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I've just been like farting about on stage for an hour 10. I'm just like, I just want to lie down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do get that. I do really get it. So let's talk about your parents and your upbringing. So you talk about your siblings and quite a bit of your stand-up, right?
Yeah, no.
How do they feel about their lives being exposed? Do they like sometimes if they tell you something, go, and you can't use this?
I
do they do
generally know the line, I think, but these are usually stories that get told around our dinner table that I've stolen and lifted and used for my own personal gain. So these stories that I usually tell in my stand-up have been told so many times in front of so many guests and friends, and they're funny to me. So I was like, I've just sort of whipped them up into stand-up bits.
And a lot it's like a lot of humour, it might be other people are involved, but you're taking the mickey out of yourself.
Always.
More. You know what I mean? Like it is,
Always.
the humour's not mean to them as such.
No, and I'm just trying to find stuff that we all kind of can connect to. And for me, I find that, the experience of growing up, adolescence, it's such a vulnerable age and you're really putting yourself out there without really, like the self-filter is not as strong, so the mistakes are so much bigger.
Yeah.
But now I'm really interested in like your 20s because I'm just like, I'm sort of firmly got my feet in my 30s now and I'm just like cringing so much at who I was in my 20s because it's so much of like, you're really trying to make a splash and you just could not be further from who you are.
And you're a bit annoying,
So annoying and so like just think you're like everything and like I thought it was so artistic and edgy and just it's humiliating.
I'm like, hey, I'm 54 and I can just still remember a dinner party and like at 24, 25 with university students, probably eating 2-minute noodles. But I was so up myself and intense. Is that when you started like getting into politics and stuff? Was in your 20s? And I just discovered that I actually was reasonably intelligent. And so here are all these people that have predominantly gone through private schools and in my opinion, had this, bourgeois life and everything and come to them easily. And here I was trying to educate them on
Over dinner.
Over dinner and this most pretentious, trying to prove my intelligence as well as almost try and knock them down. Like that was...
Because it's about forming an identity in your 20s. But then you do need it because you go like you push the boat all the way out and then you think, I think I've run out a bit too far and then you sort of ease off.
You've talked about, like Christchurch boys and, going there and it being that kind of rugby culture and, and you being,
who
artistic and who you are. Do you think though for those teens now, there's still very much the New Zealand sporty rugby culture, but we are just so much more engaging and open to teens and
we are. I think the conversation has like the lid has been opened on it. What I think looking back on it now, it's like it wasn't so much about like people. Well, there was obviously like outward like homophobia. You just heard that from like kids, and you still hear that now. But it was more about the suppression of the conversation. Like we were too scared to talk about it. Like, and even like. I even think about, like, say, Hudson Halls when we did that show.
Yeah.
And how the media sort of talked about those guys.
Yeah.
Which was that they were, like, best friends who owned a shoe shop together and, ran this cooking show together and they lived together and they're very happy. But it was, like, we're too scared to say, and we couldn't. And I found, like, when I was growing up, like, I just couldn't see anyone that was like openly gay and like we just sort of talked about it in a way that was comfortable. So what I picked up on, I think, was like a tension around the subject because people didn't know how to talk about it because it felt uncomfortable. And now what I've seen now is we've gone so far, we're so comfortable that now we don't even really talk about it, which is great because...
Are you a bit boring if you're straight, really?
I think you're more interesting.
Yes. Yeah, well,
I'm like,
odd.
straight in this world. Oh, gosh, how hard for your people. Yeah. You don't really have much of a community.
Which is,
But I find
and
that,
even on the gender fluid and, all of that sort of stuff.
We're having more robust conversations about it. We're putting it out into the open more so people have got that ability to speak about it, which I think the effect is teens or children who are like questioning that stuff about themselves, what they're observing is a comfortability in people who are talking about it versus a tension, which I think the tension creates nerves. And you think, why is everyone nervous when they're discussing this stuff? Is it something to be nervous about? I think that's what I picked up on, Yeah. And then thinking about the whole high school thing now, I did this comedy special in my old high school like 2 years ago, doing like all my material now like in that space, and also examining all boy school culture and just like what is that and why do we have them and what is the need for them. And the big kind of takeaway for me on that actually was like teens are always going to go through hard times, and I think there was a part of me that wished we could take that away from them, like the struggle of like questioning or like discovering these things about yourself and hoping that's not going to be true, but then maybe it is, all that stuff that teens go through. It is it's the teen's journey to go through those hard times where no one understands me. Because that's how you form who you are. Yeah. But now we live in a world where the pathways are so much safer out of that. Yeah. No, deep spiraling.
My granddaughter went through like 6 months of pretty much sitting in the wardrobe.
Exactly.
And I'd go, "What are you doing?" And she'd go, "It's safe in here. I just need some time out."
Yeah.
And I'd think, "Oh, that's healthy."
Yeah, absolutely.
It's healthier than the park down the road taking meth,
Yes. And you just got to go into that. The teens are just going to go through it, and you want to take it away from them because you don't want them to go through the pain or whatever that you went through. But it's just the journey of life.
Yeah. So were you always going to perform?
Always.
Yeah. And Liv, your sister's a performer as well.
Yeah, she is. We've done shows together as well.
Yeah.
I just always had a need to perform and express, I think, from age. I think the early signs were like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then mum enrolled me into ballet when I was about 4 or 5. And then from there into drama. And then it was just off. Like there was just no stopping me. I don't know if it's like the whole nature versus, I don't know where it just like it started, like right from the get-go.
But there is something in the gene, right? I mean, even with me, with my politics, a part of that is performing. There's no two ways about it. And I did like 8 years of speech and drama from about the age of, 6.
Yeah.
And so, there is an element. And even when I left politics and I took 6 months off, and then I went, I still need a stage occasionally.
Yeah.
I better go find it.
The beehive.
Yes. Well, I didn't. I just my MC work or my speaking engagements give me that thrill of being in front of an audience.
I feel powerful doing it. I feel like I'm giving, I don't feel like I can offer a lot in this world, but when I am on stage, I'm like, I'm kind of being useful here. Like, people are coming in and then they have a laugh and they're with each other and they're off there, and especially now, with like how isolating this world is now. It's like, we're being driven to be like worrying away in our phones. So to create opportunities, invite people in to like be together and laugh together.
Okay, so then we have to do the tour for next year because we touched on it. Because you just mentioned being on our phones. So it's give me one good reason why I shouldn't throw my phone off this bridge.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Well, it's just about the initial thought for the show, who knows what it'll turn into, but it's about my love-hate relationship with like finding my audience through my phone. Like I am so grateful for Instagram in one sense because it's like put me into people's eyes and introduce me to the world. But the hard thing is people kind of almost want you to stay on Instagram versus like I want to be in the room performing for everyone. So it's about this push-pull of like how much do we like, are the phones good? Are they bad? And I want to be on stage more, but I've got to be grateful for the Instagram because that's what like brought people to the shows. And I think also now people are just like don't know how to be with each other in person. Like people are acting insane with each other. Like I think because of how we engage with people virtually when we are with each other in person, I've just find like all these social interactions to be wild, and people have lost their grips. And I think it's just this like what we're seeing now are those like post-COVID post-lockdown sort of like things have been like mulling around a little bit, and now we're starting to see like really like interesting, I think, behaviour from people.
I mean, I pull back from social media every now and then, and for quite a while. And what I found was like people would get really angry with me that, you know, like at one stage someone I knew well got engaged, and of course I didn't know because I didn't see it on the social media, and they were angry that I hadn't got in touch, and I said, well, I didn't know, and they were like, what do you mean? I mean, you could have rung me or texted me. You know, like, it's not actually my fault that I wasn't on Insta and Facebook for the last week.
Bring back the old home phone. I honestly like would love me and my friend group to have each just like a home phone. And then you just call each other. And I used to love it. And like Dad used to teach us on phone etiquette when you used to answer the phone. So I've still got it in me. And sometimes I have to stop myself from doing it when there's like important people calling, because I go, hello, Christopher Robert Parker speaking.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, but he taught us all how to answer the home phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Parker Residency speaking with Chris.
Yes,
you know, just
yes,
horrible
absolutely.
stuff like that. But that's how we were taught.
Yeah. Actually, we must, if I get a politician on, we must find out if they've still got the handhelds in the beehive, because you had, and I called it the bat phone, because it was a phone that only minister to minister could call.
Love.
Just you saying that with your friend group.
Yeah.
And so because you'd be there at 10 at night, like no exaggeration, doing your paperwork and things, and like the phone would go, and it like literally would either be one of your colleagues or the Prime Minister. So it's kind of exciting. Like,
Do you never have a special ring for the Prime Minister or anything?
No, you couldn't on. You know, it really was the old school phones, which is quite fun. So no special.
Could people tap into them?
I did have ringtones on my mobile for him.
Yeah.
Leader of the pack.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, thanks. My ringtones were quite literal.
I have like sirens for like important people. So I'm like, okay, deep breath, and then I answer the phone, you know, just so that I'm not caught off guard.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah. Or fun. If it's someone that I don't like that much, I do a really fun ringtone so that when I answer, I'm not exasperated. I'm actually giggling a little.
Do you miss being in the beehive?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Not even the phones?
You're not allowed to ask me questions yet.
Oh, can't help
okay.
No.
So this year you also released the teleshow Double Parked, which
Yes.
we talked about. People can go and watch that on 3 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. So your first time in charge behind the scenes, how was it?
It was so intense. It was so intense. Well, we shot...
Mind you had the legend actress.
I know, we had Antonia Prebble and Madeline Sami, and Mads was directing it as well.
Yeah.
So I just had to kind of... It's an amazing job show running, because your responsibility is like holding the show as it gets passed through each moment and process of like creating a TV show. So from writing to pre-prod into production and out into post, you're there and you're the kind of continuity of everything between all departments. So there's a lot of people asking you questions, and it's leadership, which is a really interesting role for, I think, comedians to be in, because it's not about like, I don't know, I'm a silly
Yeah, I'm the fun one.
You have to answer to people, and you have to be like a leader, and you take everything into consideration, how people are feeling, are they burnt out, are they whatever, like, but then also I've got to deliver this thing, I'm accountable to the networks. It's pretty full on. I was like, Dad will be proud, because I looked like I was really doing a job. Like I felt like I was really working for my money.
Do you see more of it in your future?
Yes, I love the control.
Yeah.
I love the control, and I'm creative, so I love creating stuff. That's probably the thing I like the most about my Instagram stuff, is just genuinely making it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just always looking for a way to like put something together or create something, and I love the process of from casting to the network conversations to the scripting to like watching it all come together, art department. I love all those departments, and I love being able to feed into all of it. So I would love to do more and more.
So the show's about a lesbian couple both being pregnant at the same time and having babies.
Yes.
Do you see kids in your future?
It's really like before I started this show, I think it was like, I don't want kids. Like, no way. And now I had to like really let go of that sort of like sassy take on bringing children into the world. And now I'm like, it's something that I think specifically as well, gay male couples really have to interrogate, because there's so many loopholes.
Yeah.
It's quite tricky, and it's not easy. And so you have to be so sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you accidentally sign an adoption form drunk one night and whoops, we've got kids. Like, you have to go through all, it takes months.
No. Oh, look, I've got friends that are having a baby in January with a surrogate, and they were saying actually going through the process is, as you say, just so intense and so major. But then they just said, even the counselling, and they said we only ended up having to go to 2 because they went, actually, you guys are fine.
Yeah.
But they went, everyone should have to do it. Like, it should not just be 2 gay men that have to do it. They went, it really made us explore what sort of parents were going to be, made us answer all the hard questions if we broke up, how are we? And they just said it was so healthy for us, like from their perspective, I've got to say. But they were like, you straighties need to.
You're just like, I think because there's so many points to interrogate it, the obvious answer now is just no for that reason, because I just don't feel that sure of it that I would go through all of that reason.
You don't have to know right now. That's exactly how it goes.
No, but I think we're just like, we're so happy to have like all these wonderful kids in our lives from our friends' kids that we're like involved in, my nieces and nephews and stuff. But yeah, I think at the moment we don't even have a dog. The only thing we have to keep alive is one kawhai. We don't even have any indoor houseplants. And I'm like, this is actually the dream. Like we're not responsible for anything. It's just you, me, and that kawhai. That's it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
And even then, I don't know if it's thriving.
So you've just finished up Christ, What a Night.
Yes.
A Christmas theatre show that you wrote with Tom Sainsbury.
You know him?
Oh, he's a pain in the ass. I've actually written my own notes here, and I said I find Tom very annoying.
Do you actually find him annoying?
No, I don't. I gotta know. Funny.
When were you like? When were you like, okay, he's starting to get obsessed with me? Like, when was that?
Oh, there were so many weird moments.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, really weird moments. Like, to the point where I almost like got a bit paranoid myself, and particularly with my staff, because I would like turn up and they'd go, oh, is that new? And I go, yeah, it's a new top. I got it in the weekend. I just saw it on sale and I'd seen it before, and I just thought, damn it, I'm buying it. And I'm not kidding you. The next day, Tom would do a take that was so that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's almost like a psychological thriller.
Hi, sweeties, it's me, Paula Bennett, and here I am. And I've been looking at this top, but I was just like, no, I'm not spending that much. And I'd just been like, okay, someone here is freaking feeding her.
Get in, team meeting, we're closing the doors. Who is it?
Who is it?
It's amazing, isn't it?
But I didn't see, because I'm very busy and I just wasn't really into the social media stuff that much. I got weird, like people would drive past me and yell, hi, sweetie. Nice. And it was more the paninis thing.
The chicken and brie panini thing, yeah.
So I was getting, and I just thought, people are weird. Like, I just don't know. Is it because I'm fat that everyone thinks I'm eating all the time? Like, and then, but like with your gay thing, you go, well, I just don't want to talk about it. Well, you know what I mean? Like, really? Like, I'm embarrassed. And like,
how annoying. Oh my God.
Because I didn't know. And so people were literally, if I'm in a cafe, they go, oh, you're having a panini. And I'd go, I don't even really like panini. I just don't know what is going on in my life. God.
And it's funny because it's like, he's doing the damage, but then you're getting all the paninis for it. It's horrible, isn't it?
It was. Then once someone showed me, like, because people kept telling me, but I was just like, I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you mean they swap their faces and they do this and they do that? And I just don't even know what you're talking about.
It was amazing because it was like, I've been working with Tom for years, and that was the thing that really catapulted him, was playing you. It just brought him into the mainstream.
I just don't know how that happens. Okay.
Riding on your gorgeous coattails. Fluorescently pink coattails.
I always say, though, and it is really true, what he did for me was open me up to another generation where people felt they could come and talk to me.
That's interesting.
And I liked that.
Yeah.
Right? So once I kind of understood it.
Yeah.
And a bit like with I don't really have to like everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's life, you know what I mean?
No,
and
exactly.
he was never cruel. It was, so if you could see the humour in it, then it was all good. Okay, up next, Chris, we are going to focus a bit more on your career. We're going to get some advice for surviving in an industry like the arts. And, of course, we have to talk Christmas.
Okay, great.
Okay, we're going to focus on your career a bit more here. I feel like you go from strength to strength every year. I feel like it's an incredibly tough, brutal industry in the arts, but I just keep thinking you're just so diverse in what you do. And is that kind of a key? You know, when you we talked about your tele work, we've talked about your stand-up, we've talked about your social media, we've talked about, there's so much. Do you need to be that diverse to be successful in the industry?
I think so. I think for survival in the industry, you've got to have multiple strings to the bow. And I came into this just wanting to be an actor, but I didn't like feeling powerless in the industry. Like, there's so many, as an actor, you're just sort of being, there's the director and the casting agents, and just to get work, to get a job, to do the thing you want to do, you have to go through so many people, and I was getting impatient with it. And so that's when I got into writing my own stuff and doing stand-up, because I just wanted to be on stage. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I was looking for a quick way to do it. And so comedy is they don't care. So they're just it's a whole bunch of schmucks out there with a mic, and they said, here's your stage time, off you go.
Because actors talk about that lack of control, and you just, you're hot one week, you're not the next. You're the rejection kind of side of it.
So much rejection. The whole job is rejection. It's about you could be the top of your game, and then, you're not cast, and it's not. The job isn't a ladder, and once you realise that in the arts, that it's not about climbing up, it's actually about a cycle of being able to sustain the career. Then it's a better way of thinking, because everyone thinks, I've been working up, and now I'm doing this job that I would have been doing 10 years ago, or whatever. But if it's more about, I just think about you're in this cycle of keeping it sustaining, keeping it going, then that's sort of different. And for me, it's just been about learning new things, trying different avenues, and upskilling and getting creative in multiple different ways. And I get satisfaction from that.
And there must be a huge amount of resilience in there, because in your book released last year, you talked about a solo show involving dance.
Yes.
That you formed with a broken foot.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
How on earth do you do that?
Well, I was self-producing the show, and it was my first big break, literally. And I had maybe 120 people coming a night, which was really big for me at the time.
Yeah.
I'd sold it all out. I was doing 9 shows. And then dress rehearsal, I was so tired. I had an ad the next day I was going to be filming at 4 a.m. So I was working at night. And then 4 a.m. was my call time. And then I was thinking about that. And I did a leap, fell over the front of my foot, and I broke my 5th metatarsal.
Wow.
And went home. And I just was like, it's fine, it's just sprained. So I taped it up, did the ad the next day, and then I just did a week where I had taped it up and would take 2 Panadol and do the show. And the director was like, just use your hands a lot more and it will distract us from your feet. And
Sorry.
I know, it's the arts. And then went to the doctor, and then I got an X-ray, and I saw that the bone was in half.
Oh no!
And he was like, if you'd come in that night, I would have sent you to the hospital for an operation.
Wow!
But I just told him, the show must go on. He was like, do you have an understudy? And I was like, it's an autobiographical show about me coming out. No, there is no understudy.
Yeah.
And then I just ignored his advice.
And keep going.
I would arrive to the theatre in a moon boot, take the moon boot off, strap my foot up, and then do it.
And
I would not advise people to do that, but that's what I thought. I called my dad in tears about it, and then Dad was like, Richie McCaw won the World Cup on a broken foot. And I was like, well, here we go.
Shelford lost it.
I know, exactly. I was like, well, we'll share stories. I did 9 nights about an autobiographical gay dance show. I'm sure New Zealand will appreciate that just as much as the World Cup.
But it is, as you say, people are paid to come and see you, and it was your break. And
the other side of that as well, if I cancel the shows, I'm liable for it, because I'm the producer of these creators, artists, actors, whoever. You're not just turning up and doing the job. You're producers, your marketers, your tax accountants.
And I mean, you touched on it, but with the hours and, and everything else that's involved. I mean, you've been doing nights this week, and then, and then mornings, and then you're doing everything else in between. So, I think some people think it's just going to be fun and you get to sort of larrikin around and all the rest of it.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of work, but it's also not crazy amounts of work. People are really working hard out there for $1.
Yeah.
And I am definitely clocking sometimes more hours, sometimes less hours. And I'm doing a really fun job where you turn up and there's a glass of water there and you talk to fab people, then you trot on out. So it is like a very joyful, fun job that keeps me energized and happy and fulfilled.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit of a grind, but like every job's a bit of a grind, isn't it?
No, look, my nephew is incredibly talented and creative, and he was like in 3 different shows. And as you know, some stage at rehearsal, some actually performing, and they're sort of all going on. And I said to him, and he's going to school every day, thank goodness, right? And I said to him, you must be so tired, like you're getting home at 10:30 at night, and he just went, but I love it.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Because I was part of this improv group, Snort, where we were doing every Friday night improv comedy at the basement. It was kind of like where we all started. We've been doing it for 10 years. And then to wrap it up, the sort of end of our 10-year tenure at the basement, I did 10 hours of improv.
Wow.
In a night.
Wow.
So we did a show at 3, 4, 5, 6, and I did it into the night. And they said, does anyone want to do the full 10 hours? And I was like, I'll give it a go. I'll see if I can do it. And my voice started giving out before my mind started giving out.
Yeah.
But it was thrilling. I was like, wow, it was clearly there's something in me that just wants to keep going and performing for people.
Okay, so people that are interested in getting into the industry, we talked about your social media and what Instagram's done for you. Would you advise them to use those sorts of platforms for exposure to start?
It really depends, it depends what you want to be doing. I think if you're like an artist who doesn't want to be in the center of your work, then probably not. But we do live in a digital world. We are connected virtually as well as in the real world. And so I think it's important for your work for people to, I always think as well, why are you doing it? And for me, we create work so that we can connect to people. So if you're not trying to connect and you're not reaching out, then you're not doing half the job. It's all well and good to make art, but if no one's seeing it, then where is it?
Yeah.
Is it even existing?
So like so much in life, it is finding your why. Yeah? So because there must be a lot of young people that just think, I want to be famous. I want to be rich and famous.
And that's a why.
And that's a why.
But it's a hard why.
That's a hard path to go down, particularly in New Zealand, right?
Well, you could just, murder a family and you could be famous that way,
Yeah.
Because that's how, that's how some people have done it, Like if you want to be famous, then there's easier ways to get into the headlines.
Okay. So what's 2024 looking like for you? What's focus?
Focus? That's a really good question. I think for me it's about, I want to keep expanding what I think I'm capable of. I want to see if I can discover a new thing next year.
Ooh.
I don't know what that is, but I want to.
And that's okay.
Challenge myself to create something beyond what I think my capacity is. So I think I've got a pretty clear understanding of what I can do. I'm like, what else is there?
Okay.
Not a new skill, but I just want to see if there's a new, if I can push my writing in a way or just push it beyond what I think I'm capable of.
Okay. Well, I like it. I'm going to watch the space. We'll get you back next year.
Cut 2, I'm doing figure skating.
We'll get you back next year. We'll have a chat.
Figure skating with a one-man band.
Yeah. Okay, it's Christmas time, and you do Christmas. I thought we'd do a...
Are you festive?
I was thinking about that as I was watching all these amazing themed trees and things. I went through a patch and I'm not at the moment.
Interesting.
But then the kids are all overseas. So I've kind of lost a little of that mojo.
I think I need it psychologically.
Yeah.
At the end of a grind of a year, I just need to be putting ribbons on a tree.
Okay, have we themed the tree this year?
Yeah, we're sourcing all our decorations through Trade Me, and I'm doing vintage baubles, secondhand baubles, and
wow.
And I want it to be a decorated tree. I'm not about it's all one color. I like it to be joyful but I do want it to sort of feel cohesive, and so we're going for lots of different kind of vintage baubles that I'm buying online.
I like that.
It's competitive though, my goodness. There's people out there who would give a limb for a vintage bauble.
Oh.
I know.
So I might not do the tree now, but I do the Christmas parties.
Oh, yes.
And I love a dress up. But you just remind me because I went last year as a vintage bauble.
Did you?
Well, I'm old, and so I just completely, it was the theme was bee, so I just completely wore a sequin dress and wrapped myself in
genius.
battery lights and then put a massive bauble on my head, and I was a vintage bauble. This year, I'd like to inform you that it's Barbie versus barbecue.
Oh, wow.
And
These are your parties, are they?
Well, no, these are my work. We theme.
That's great. Barbie versus barbecue.
Yeah, so I am going as a barbecue.
Amazing. I would have gone as like a melted Barbie that I've put on the barbecue.
Oh, yeah. See, that would be fun.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you're going as what kind, like a Weber or a...
Well, more of a grill, and I've got sausages, steak, and a kebab. Well, you get to an age where you can't do sexy anymore, so I just think you've got to do funny. So you've just got to...
I appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, you've just got to take it to, All right, tips for tree decorating. I mean, it just feels exhausting to me, I've got to be honest, what you do.
In terms of the
but
decorating...
It's your joy.
Well, no, we just like putting on some music... because Michael and I love to decorate anything. We'll just decorate the house regardless. So now we've got we're not going all in, but we've got a little tree in the corner and it gives us something to talk about. I mean, it's just the two of us. Again, no kids, no dog, just the core fight. You run out of conversation. So at some point you think, what direction should we take the Christmas tree in this year? It keeps the romance alive.
So what will you be doing on Christmas Day?
We're with his family in Whangarei.
Oh, nice.
So we go up north. We go year about. It's always the ways, and it's always so difficult with families. And my family's in Christchurch, and so we've managed to make it all work. So we're up north for his Christmas, and then I'm back to work by January the 8th. So it's going to be a real quick, a quick flash in the pan rest, and then back to it.
Good. Okay. And lastly, in a nod to your best friend Brinley Stent's annual Christmas pudding countdown, what's your best Christmas dessert?
I do tiramisu. And I think I have a real gripe with seasonally inappropriate food and decorations for our Southern Hemisphere Christmas. So I don't want a big figgy pudding and eggnog when it's 32 degrees and humid. And I feel like tiramisu's good because it's Italian, and so the heat, and you got the espresso, but you've still got a pudding vibe, but the espresso sort of cuts through it a little bit. Yeah. And it gives you a bit of pud, but it's also not too full on. Okay. So I whip that up now, and now it's become a bit of a thing of Chris is bringing his tiramisu again. And, I like that. I've always wanted one of those things to contribute to the family, Yeah. But you wouldn't dare make one because that's what Chris does. And so I'm trying to create as much drama and tension around my tiramisu now.
So the podcast is Ask Me Anything, and I've stopped you from asking me, but now is your chance that you can ask me something. Okay. Well, because we are on the subject matter of arts, what to you is the role of arts in our society? And in a double end to that, second part to that question, what is a piece of art, be it theatre, film, music, or whatever, that has changed your life? Yeah, well, I suppose it can come at so many different levels, right? So it can be from, I think it makes us more interesting. It stimulates a part of our brains that we may not all use. It's a creativity. I'm one of those people that really admires in someone else a talent I don't have. I genuinely, Same. You know what I mean? It's kind of I have the same body parts as you. How are you getting your leg up there? Yeah, and so whether that is in the visual, whatever it is, I'm completely in awe of people that just have that supreme talent. And then I do admire discipline. So, those that then take that to another level. But then I love the stimulus of art, from whether that's, as I say, from painting or, some of the intellect that goes behind some of it. And I love writing. So, that would be, I just think what that gives society is just absolutely intense. So look, for me, books definitely, and so many of them have just, changed my life, and even those angsty teenage years. Yeah. Finding the God in all that life matters. For me, my grandmother gave me that book when I was in my teens, and it's not actually about God, it's actually about you believing in yourself. and finding your why, if you like. I'm probably really doing damage to the book that I haven't read for 40 years, but so you sort of say...
But it
so
stayed with you.
Yeah.
And that's important, you know.
And that, and kind of the philosophy is that, any question you're looking for in life, the answer's probably within you, if it's a philosophical one. And,
I love that. Wow.
So isn't that beautiful? And so, someone... had written that and was able to reach out. And so, things like that. And then just pure entertainment and a laugh. And, I'm in this sort of mood and, I don't really want to sit and talk to you for the evening. So should we go to a movie?
It's a distraction, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a social buffer.
Should we just let someone else just sit and then I've trained my husband, much to his disgust, but I make him sit and watch all of the credits at the end because I just go, all of those people have put all of that work into entertaining us for the last 2 hours. We should be able to sit here for 6 minutes and watch it.
Okay, I've just got one more question, just because you bring up your husband. So how long have you been married for?
12 years.
Okay, and what do you have any advice in terms of
just
happy
chill
marriage?
Out.
Chill out.
Just chill out.
Just chill out.
Like, I haven't been married before, but I've been with him before, and we like to say that we've actually been together for like 34 years. We just had a 20-year break sort of thing, right? And so this kind of second time round, what you think's important isn't what just actually understand and love and get on with it. And if you do feel like time out, just say, I feel like a bit of time out. And, I can actually say to him, I'm just really, obviously this is me, but I'm just feeling easily irritated right now. And he'll go, all right, I'm going out to the shed and I'll see you in an hour, eh? Yeah, that'd be cool. Why don't we have a glass of wine at 5?
Perfect. God, I love that. Yeah, you just have to set up your own boundaries and rules, don't you, in terms of like your capacity even just to engage with each other.
Yeah.
By being like, honestly... I just
and it's not about him, right?
No.
Actually, I do agree with that. It's put it on you, not them. So, he probably is irritating. But saying that would cause an argument. So instead I say, obviously I'm a bit tired and I'm easily irritated right now. So it's me with the problem.
I love that.
You.
Number one advice for a happy marriage: just chill out.
Just
drop it,
man.
Just chill out.
Yeah, she'll be right. Okay, Chris Parker, thanks for your time today. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And where can people find more information about your tour, or where do we buy tickets, or
on Instagram?
Where do we see you?
Yeah, obviously on Instagram. So I've got a link in my bio, but you can go to chrisparkercomedy.com as well. That's my website, and book tickets there.
Okay. And that's it for Ask Me Anything for 2023. But it is not the end of season 4. We will be back with a sneaky summer bonus episode in January with New Zealand's new First Lady, Amanda Luxon, before a full return for season 5 in March. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please make sure you follow Ask Me Anything on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Paula Better. Ask Me Anything. Goodbye.